Welcome to Granddad's new train on a shelf. Max is running the train into the station.
In this video, we're going to show the start of making a model railway on a shelf. In my shed, which I've got a photo of here, inside the shed, I thought we'd put it on a shelf because that'll leave the shed free for other shed type purposes like bikes and mowers and storing other stuff. So a shelf layout, I've just got an idea in my head for 3 tracks in and 3 tracks out with a terminus. Shunting layout, pretty basic stuff, but we should have some fun. So I got a couple of Hornby train sets for Christmas. I just had this idea that I'd use the track mats in a different sort of way, spray mounted them onto some card and then painted and dirted them up a bit and lay these down as a base before the cork ballast, etc., just to see how that goes. And what I did was lay the card with the track mat on it on top of it really was a nice pine shelf, so I didn't want to mess that up, and then added a slightly wider plastic end piece for the terminus. I found that the shelf brackets underneath the shelf were useful to run the wiring. We're now starting to think about laying the track, think about where the track might go, and we're cutting some strips of cork which we've already pre-painted with a rough ballast colour, and we've started to lay them on the base, roughly where the tracks will go, to see how it's going to look. And we're having a look at one of those track mat cards that we've painted up to see how it might look as a background and not just as a base for the track. Here's our terminus end, and again we're looking at the spacing, the colours, and we're even trying a platform in there because we're going to fit our track to the shape of the platform. We've moved on a bit now to some basic wiring and testing, getting the layout ready. We're hiding the feed wires underneath the track, and on the end of the terminus there we can hide those with a buffer stop. I think we're ready to try a few test runs, check the circuitry. Just checking that everybody knows about how to use these rail cutters. For years I always did it with a really sharp hacksaw, but invested in one of these. And they don't really give you any instructions, but there's two sides to this cutter. That cutting edge, this side of the cutter, it's got beveled edges which can impact when you cut your rail and cause a lot of unnecessary filing afterwards. The flanges on the bottom of the rail get pushed in. But if you use that side is a straight cut. Look at that, you can see that, those are a straight cut on there. I'll just show you on this. Just straight on your rail there. So in you go. That pings off somewhere. And that's your straight edge cut from that side there. Not from that side, that side. And then you can put straight on your rail joiners on there. Incidentally, you see how that pinged off there? Always better to have some safety goggles on while you're doing this. I've got a pair on me now. And I recommend those because they do ping around the room when you trim them off like that. Okay, here's a bit of progress on the shelf layout. Laid a bit more track. Stuck some more cork down, and finally we've joined up to the loop on the main layout. This was a slightly tricky bit, this reverse curve with flexible track. Incorporating down here some isolating joiners and a new feed section there, so we get that wired in. We've got a general tidy up on the wires at the back of the controller. This is a standard Hornby controller that comes in those train sets. All the wires out the back and a power adapter underneath. A couple of switches that are all wired up for a couple of isolating sections. Incidentally, with these, does everybody know that there's a cutout on here? If you do a short circuit on the track, this will go off, and the power adapter underneath, and they've got a reset time of about 60 seconds. They say a minute. I would say give it 5 minutes, switch it off, give it 5 minutes. But it's a bit worrying. Sometimes you do a short circuit and then you can't get it going again, and you tear all your wires apart. You think you've got a wiring fault, but you haven't. This has got a cut-off in it and a reset time. It's like a reboot on your computer. Well, I think that's enough for now. That's the end of part 1. Thanks for watching. There'll be more to come where we take you to the final painting of the layout and running some trains.